welcome to CJB News Channel. Today's segment on real estate is a story about Singapore's most valuable real estate developer, Capitaland, and how it succeeded in China, a market that is largely dominated by state-owned enterprises and tightly controlled by the government. Headquartered in Singapore, Capitaland's main businesses are in real estate investment and development. Its real estate portfolio includes some of the most iconic properties spread throughout Singapore and China, like the Ion Orchard in Singapore, the Interlace in Singapore, Raffles City Shenzhen, and Raffles City Chongqing. By the end of 2014, Capitaland manages $70 billion worth of real estate assets, 83% of which are in their two core markets, Singapore and China. It generated $8.7 billion in revenue, net profit margin at 62%. Its real estate fund management business is also one of the largest in Asia. The group manages a total of 6 real estate investments trusts and 16 private equity funds, with aggregate assets under management of $41 billion. Capitaland's REITs have recognized track record of adding value through portfolio reconstitution, acquisition, development, asset enhancement, proactive leasing, and capital management. Capitaland entered China in 1994. Currently, it is the largest foreign-funded real estate developers in the country. The group owns and manages 150 properties in 46 Chinese cities. These include 8 Raffles City mixed developments, 62 shopping malls, 12,000 service residence units, and more than 110,000 residential units. In the next 4 years, Capitaland is completing 50 projects across Asia, worth about $36 billion on completion. More than half are in China. So today we have with us Mr. Lim Yan, President and CEO of Capitaland Group, Mr. Jason Liao, CEO of Capitaland China, and Mr. Arthur Lan, CFO of the group, to talk about Capitaland's strategy and what it plans for the future in China. Good evening, thank you for coming. Could you tell us what strategies Capitaland has used to succeed both in Singapore and China?
I think 2 strategies are important for us. First, stick to our strong business fundamentals. We always focus our resources in the key sectors: homes, shopping malls, office, integrated developments, and service residents. This will give the group a balance in market exposures. Second, whether it's an upturn or a downturn in the economy, we remain true to our core, and that is to produce quality products. Perfect design in strategic locations, combined with our brand name, we have the ability to draw investors and customers.
There are discussions about the slowdown of China's economy and its impact on businesses. What's your view on that?
I think there are a lot of talks about the GDP growth of China will potentially fall to about 7 to 6.5%, but this growth, China is still the main engine in this part of the world. And also in China, urbanization continues to take place. Significant number of people moving from the countryside to the city. Moreover, the higher level rising middle class will drive the strong housing demand too. So if we put the 2 trends together, I foresee China will be a very strong market in the next few years.
Thank you, Mr. Lim. Now let's ask Mr. Jason Liao what challenges Capitaland faces in China and what strategies they use to overcome these challenges.
Thank you, Liam, for bringing up this question. I should admit that the first decade for us was not easy in this market. So some of our main challenges are included: first, the regulations and government policies are not the same for foreign companies and local companies. For example, if foreign companies want to purchase land, they need extra approval from the Ministry of Commerce. Secondly, although Capitaland is a famous brand in Singapore, it took us several years to build the reputation in China market. And another challenge is that we always face fierce competition in China. Competitions are not only from local giants like Vanke and Greenland, but also from Hong Kong companies like the Wolf Group. Last but not least, China is so large, so culture and customer tastes sometimes change vastly from place to place. So it is difficult for us to manage all these differences effectively.
So what strategies do you employ to overcome these challenges?
Well, first, we form strong partnership with local real estate developers, especially in second-tier cities where the business environment is less mature. So these local companies are more familiar with local markets and also have access to pool of prime locations through their relationship with government. So we also focus on building our people and hiring local talents. In China, 95% of our employees are local Chinese. And more importantly, we focus on quality construction and innovation designing. So due to our reputation in Singapore and the commitment to the China market, government began to come to us and ask Capitaland to build icon properties in very important locations, such as Rifle City in Wuhan and Chongqing. So we also continue to replicate the same model of operating a full real estate value chain from integrated properties to shopping malls, homes, and offices. This model helps us recycle capital efficiently and also survival in the difficult times before we make profits.
Now let's turn to Mr. Arthur Lang and ask for his insights about Capitaland's financial performance and its financing for the future. Mr. Arthur?
So our financial performance is quite good last year. So the total revenue was 12% higher than 2013. And last year we divested Westgate Tower and have higher revenue contributing from shopping mall and service apartments as well as our Vietnam development project. In fact, the total revenue has been increased for 3 consecutive years. In line with our revenue growth, our operating performance has also improved, evidenced by the EBIT, which is 8% higher than 2013. So China is our second revenue and profit contributor and accounts for about 22% of group revenue and 31% of group's EBIT last year. And besides, we have a robust balance sheet. By the end of last year, we have a cash balance of 2.7 billion and 3 billion undrawn facilities. And we got a very healthy debt-to-equity ratio and interest coverage ratio. So we have strong financial capability to capitalize on the opportunity.
Real estate requires very long-term investment and stable capital. What is your financing strategy for Capitaland as a group and for projects in China?
We have advantage in terms of both financing support and financing costs over local real estate companies in China. So first, we fund our projects through REITs and private funds. So there are 2 REITs and 12 private funds under our group, which provided funding of $10 billion for our projects in China. And besides, we have a better control of our finance cost. Well, we obtain financing both from bank loans and corporate bonds. And we establish very good relationship with local banks, apart from those Singapore banks. And as a result, we are able to achieve a low implied interest rate of about 3.4% last year, while only a few local real estate companies are able to control their finance costs under 10%. Actually, our implied interest rate has been decreasing for 3 consecutive years. So that's our advantage.
Indeed, Capitaland has performed amazingly well in the Chinese real estate market despite the lack of advantages local developers possess. However, with talks of China's property market heading towards collapse, let's turn to our analyst Yin Han for her insights on this issue. Yin Han, do you think Capitaland needs to worry about slower growth and rising debts in China?
China's property market has slowed significantly since the second half of 2013. Over the last decades, China's property sector has become an important part for the country's growth, and there has always been debates and controversies about whether Chinese real market is overheated or not. For me, the fears about China's property market are likely overblown. Firstly, China's private housing market is still young. Secondly, the government still has ample policy options to avoid a collapse if the current property market downturn were to become more serious than anticipated. More important, demand for urban properties is expected to remain high over the next decades. But parts of China's property markets do show signs of a bubble. Since 2008, China's property prices has risen 64%, outpacing most of its Asian peers.
Any suggestions for Capitaland China?
Here are some suggestions for Capitaland. Firstly, even though we believe that China's real estate market will not collapse, but I suggest Capitaland should still be aware of the fluctuation of the market. If China's housing prices were to fall by 30%, it would have knock-on effects across the whole economy. Secondly, some second or third-tier cities in the central and western regions showing significant oversupply, cities such as Kunming and Changsha. Lastly, Capitaland China used to mainly build mid to high-end residential properties, offices, shopping malls, and hotels in city center locations. But with rocketing land prices in prime areas, the company may shift its focus to low-cost homes as we expect China's urbanization drive to boost demand for residential property across all segments.
Let's hear another analyst about Capitaland's expansion in China. Even though Capitaland is known for its innovative design and high quality, it seems to fail to address local needs. For example, in Foshan City, residents feel like Capitaland apartment failed to accommodate the rain season. What's your take on that, Shinya?
Yes, it is a problem, since practical and convenient residence and facilities are inevitable for customers. Capitaland will improve their convenience and user-friendliness in accordance with feedback from the customer. However, at the same time, this innovative and creative design is definitely one of the core competencies of Capitaland. I think Capitaland could not succeed in this business in China without sophisticated design. Capitaland always challenges to provide unusual and unexpected experience to customers.
So, CEO Lim, looking into the future, what will Capitaland do to maintain a strong position in the market and expand even more?
Well, going forward, we will continue to focus on integrated developments. The reason being that the increase in population leading to traffic congestions, coupled with high cost of transport infrastructures, land around transport nodes have to be best used to yield maximum value. At the same time, few competitors are competent in developing full suite of properties like us, so we can compete very well with them.
Mr. Lim, Mr. Liao, Mr. Lan, thank you for coming. Good night.
This is that ice cold Michelle fight for that white gold. This one for them hood girls, them good girls, straight masterpieces. Stylin', wildin', living it up in the city. Got Chuck's on with Saint Laurent, gotta kiss myself, so pretty. I'm too hot. Call the police and the fireman, I'm too hot. Make a dragon wanna retire, man, I'm too hot. Don't say my name, you know who I am, I'm too hot. And my band bought that money, break it down. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch.